Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 105 of the Brother Sister Show. We are a family-owned and operated podcast where two siblings keep in touch by talking about movies. My name is Anthony, and I'm joined here with my sister Livia. And we're here on a Monday, which is different for those of you who've stuck with us all 104 episodes, because normally we post on Thursdays, but we thought we'd change things up by moving it to Mondays.
Yeah, it just makes more sense. Especially now that we're the shift to watching newer movies. It makes sense to kind of recap the weekend of us going to the movies. So hopefully this is a good time to do it. I mean, I guess people can let us know, but I'm excited about posting every Monday. Because that's when I listen to the podcast that I listen to.
Yeah, I feel like when we picked Thursday, it was just so arbitrary. Like, there was no...
I think, we didn't really have much strategy back in those. I don't know if we have any now, but it just makes sense. Like I said, and also back then the whole thing was we wanted to be like, movies that people can access.
Movie club, yeah.
Yeah, and so now it's kind of like it's a shift in what we want to do. So, yeah, we'll see. If we lose everybody, then I guess we know we have to go back to Thursdays.
Yeah, I guess so. Though. But how are you doing? I mean, it's been not too long since the last time we recorded, but what's new?
Nothing much. I'm still getting over, being sick. You can kind of hear it in my voice. I still have like a lower voice.
Right.
Still coughing up a lot of stuff. So hopefully the coughing is at a minimum now. But it'll probably happen. Like right there. I got my booster. I think I said I was going to get it before the last episode. So, right. I was honestly pretty nervous about it, and not because like I have a fear of needles or anything. But it was my second shot. I think a lot of people had the same experience with me of just like waking up the middle of the night after getting my second shot and just feeling like absolute shit. And kind of it took me out like almost a full day. I think I actually called in to work. So I was like really nervous that was going to happen again. But obviously I was like, it's, the whole like it's better for my family, for the world to, protect myself and protect other people to get the booster. So it didn't make me not want to get it. It just made me, a little bit nervous because of the effects last time. But surprisingly, the only so like I said, I got it Thursday. Now it's Sunday. The only major like side effect I had was my arm was super sore. Like it was pretty sore. Like I could only move it up to maybe like my shoulder.
Okay. That's fair.
So that was pretty bad, and I couldn't sleep on that side. And I'm such an idiot. I know you can like tell them what side, and I mostly sleep on my what is this? My left side? Yeah. I mostly sleep on my left side, and I just like didn't really think about that, and so now I had to sleep on my right side, and it just like threw me all off.
Threw off your game.
Yeah.
Your sleep game.
Yeah, it was that was the only thing that was kind of rough. But now Sunday I have full mobility. I had full mobility before, but I just didn't want to move it. But it feels fine. Like I'm really glad I got it. It was way better. Honestly, it was more like the first time where I just felt really tired that day. My arm was pretty sore. Yeah, I got it at lunch too, and I still had to work until like 4 or 5 or something. And I was fine throughout the day. So yeah, if you can get your booster shot, please get it, because it's only going to help you and people around you. And it truly wasn't that bad. The only thing is I had to wait a little bit because I don't know. I think it was just a pharmacist. I don't know what he was doing. He was kind of like running all around the place. But yeah.
Nice. I haven't had a chance to just because of finals, but my last one's on Monday. Or today, I guess, when this comes out. So I'll probably get it soon for sure.
Yep.
But that's good. Have you watched much? I don't have anything like super new, so we can just go straight into movies.
Let me see. I've been trying to log more in my thing. Actually, no, it's the only 2 movies are these 2. So
Really?
what have you watched? Yeah.
Well, after my first final on Friday, I watched The Nightmare Before Christmas because it felt like just a good one to start getting back into like the Christmas vibe. Because I haven't been feeling super festive, but after watching this, I'm feeling festive as hell.
That's good.
It's just, I didn't realize how short it was also. It's like quick 80 minutes, So I watched it.
Refreshing
right
because the 2 movies we're talking about today are 2 hours and 40 minutes.
Yeah. Well, I watched it right before I went to go see West Side Story, so. And then I just continued watching the Spider-Man original trilogy. Spider-Man 2, amazing. It's like you barely see him as Spider-Man. It's like a Peter Parker movie at its core, and it's fantastic. The MCU could never do that now.
Yeah, I was going to say it's bold of them to do that.
I saw Tom Holland say that like he wants an entire movie where it's just about Peter Parker, but that's never going to happen in today's climate. But I also watched the third one, Spider-Man 3, and it's just a fun time. It feels like a guilty pleasure because like so much of it is flawed and not the best, but you just got to love it, especially at the end. I was telling Kayla while we were watching it last night, I was like, this part always gets me. It's like when Sandman's just beating the living shit out of Spider-Man and Venom's like holding him down. I'm like, I remember watching that as a kid.
Is he going to make it out?
Just thinking that. Just like, oh man, he's really going through it. But it's pretty cheesy.
Classic.
That's pretty much it, other than the other 2 movies.
Actually, just remembered I saw Sebastian and I we watched both of the Santa Claus movies, and so I watched the third one, and it's not good at all. I mean, I knew it wasn't, but I kind of forgot. And it's like a weird pace. I don't know. I like the other 2. Third one's kind of strange. Which is weird, which is sad because Martin Short's in it, and I fucking love Martin Short. But even he couldn't save it.
What are those on? Or do you just own them?
Disney Plus. I don't own them. It's on Disney Plus.
I wanted everyone to think that you own them, though. Because that'd be really funny.
I mean, I could. There's a good things to add to the discography. Filmography? Discography?
Either one. Wait, no. Discography is like music. But I just remembered we watched Hawkeye.
Oh, yeah. So did I.
You're all caught up?
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel? Sorry, I keep on asking you questions, even you're just trying to cough.
It's kind of boring. Like it feels like it's like they have a storyline that only really services 3 episodes, and they're trying to like string it out.
I could see that.
I'm not a huge fan.
The only thing I find interesting and cool about the show is what's her name? The wife. Oh my gosh.
God, what is her name?
Linda Cardellini?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I like how much of a role that she has. Like, she's like Oracle, the computer guy or whatever.
Oracle.
She has a lot more say than I thought.
Mm-hmm. Some people are speculating that she was an agent too.
I wouldn't doubt it, which is very cool. I'd like to see more of her in the show.
Yeah, me too. Well, that's one thing that people are speculating about The Watch.
Oh, okay.
Because I didn't realize people didn't know. I thought it was like, oh, maybe it's one of those things where everybody knows who it belongs to, but I just don't. But like, apparently not. Like, that's the mystery of who it belongs to and why he wants it. And somebody said it might be hers, and that it somehow is like evidence that she was an agent and it has her identity or something, and so that's why he's so concerned about it.
That makes a lot of sense. because the notes that Echo had were just about the kids and not of his wife. That's interesting. Were you surprised to see Florence Pugh?
I think a little bit. I knew she was going to be in there. I didn't know what episode. But there was one moment where I was like, "Oh, I know what that is." But before she took off the mask.
Yeah.
I know a noise from Florence Pugh as soon as I hear it.
That's funny.
But I'm excited. She's a great actress, so I mean, I think they're very lucky to have her in the MCU. Yeah. There was there was something I thought of. Somebody had like a a really sad parallel or something. There's like a lot of parallels with Natasha and like, you know, all that stuff. And somebody said, you know how we talked about the best shot. This is kind of cheesy when he said it, but the best shot he never his
took.
best shot was the one he never took, and it was because he was supposed to kill her, right? But then I forgot the story about that, but he was supposed to kill her, but then he didn't because she wanted to get out of being a Black Widow. And then, you know, they obviously became best friends. And how they're like trying to set up the MC or the Young Avengers, right? And so there's a moment where Kate is about to shoot Yelena. That's her name, right? Yelena?
I think so.
Where she's about to shoot her, but then she doesn't. Or she shoots somewhere else, or she pauses. And so somebody was like, that's a nice parallel that they did.
And then she just shoots Echo straight in the shoulder.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I didn't even notice that.
I didn't either. But
That's
yeah,
good.
the show is kind of like a means to an end. I'm not really that concerned about.
Well, have you
it.
caught up on How To with John Wilson?
No, I haven't.
Episode 3 is out. I haven't watched it yet, but
I don't know if I have time because tonight is dedicated to Succession. Tonight's the season finale.
Are you gonna watch all the Spider-Man movies?
Probably not.
Spider-Man? Oh.
No. Why?
Just because it's coming out this week?
No, because then I'd have to watch like the newer ones, and I don't want to.
Oh, like Far From Home,
or
Homecoming?
Yeah, or I don't want to watch the Andrew Garfield ones either.
I want to revisit them. I just feel like the original trilogy is like so comic. Like it just feels like a comic book.
Mm-hmm.
And Andrew Garfield's, they like tried to make it serious, like too serious.
Yeah, I know. There's a lot of issues with his. I feel bad too because I think he was a good Spider-Man. I think he could have been a good one, but I think the way that people always blame. I feel like they blame him for being like too good looking, and I don't think that's the issue. I think it was the way that they wrote the character, not the way that he played it.
I can see that.
Yeah, and I saw something interesting about his accent where people were somebody was saying like why he's so good at the accent and why a lot of people don't know that he's British. And this is like has nothing to do with anything. I thought it was interesting. Where if you hear a good example is Benedict Cumberbatch, right? So when he does his American accent, or I guess New York, whatever accent he's trying to do, let's just say American. He can be okay with it. Like you can still hear, you know, his British, like his accent wanting to come out, but he's fine. But when he gets angry or upset or any sort of like emotion other than just talking to somebody, that's when you can mostly hear it come out, or when it's harder for them to keep their original, like their, you know, native accent at bay. But with Andrew Garfield, that never happens. When he's upset or when he's crying, when he's angry, he is doing the same. Well, the way the person described it is he's doing an accent on top of another one. So he does an American accent, but whenever he's upset, he has to do something it's really hard to do, where you're doing an American accent, but you're doing it, I forgot, they say, but you're basically layering it, where you have the American accent that you've been doing throughout, but then you have to do another one. You have to learn how to talk like an American when they're angry, or at least how not to talk like a British person when they're angry. And then so there's like 3 layers of an accent that he's doing. But he does kind of have an advantage because apparently his dad's American.
Oh.
So, yeah.
That's fair. Good actor.
Just thought it was interesting. So I think, and I was probably guilty of this before, but I feel like people kind of shit on his Spider-Man a little too much. Like, his movies are really bad, and that's not really up for debate. But as a Spider-Man, I think he could have been really good. He could have been a really great Spider-Man.
Yeah.
The writing was not there for him.
We'll probably see him by the end
I don't know.
of this week.
I saw another TikTok that was like, part of me wishes that they're not in it, not because I don't want to see it or not because I don't think it would be cool, just because I want Kevin Feige. I like the idea of Kevin Feige over the past year being like, shit. Like, like really like scared for people to see it and be pissed. Because if they're not in there, people are going to be fucking pissed.
Yeah.
So that would be really funny. And I agree with that.
In the Discord, it just feels like the biggest movie that we've seen the most of. Like, I can't think of any other movie that I've seen this much footage and like stills from. Like, I don't know if it's just
leak-wise?
Yeah, leak-wise. I don't know if it's just because I either wasn't alive. Like, did The Matrix, when it originally came out, did we see that much footage of it?
Probably not.
Or
part of me, and maybe this is conspiracy theory corner, but I feel like the leaks have been on purpose.
Probably.
Because they're trying to, well, maybe not on purpose. I think some of the leaks have been on purpose or intentional because they're trying everything they can to take attention away from the two Spider-Man, right? I don't know, but the only thing I don't know is if they're doing that because they're not in it or if they're doing that because they are and they just don't want people to be interested in seeing anything of it yet. Or they're going to do it in an interesting way. I don't know. I just feel like they feel just like distractions at a certain point.
Right. Yeah, we'll see. It's really coming out this week. Unreal.
I know, it's wild. In just a few days, we're going to be seeing it.
Well, that's all I have. I don't know if we ever mentioned it, but we're talking about Don't Look Up and West Side Story. I don't think I mentioned it.
Oh, yeah. I don't think we did, but
it'll be in the
read
title.
the title. Yep.
Yeah, that's all I have. Sorry I didn't watch the Family Tree game.
It's okay.
Penance movie.
I think we'll actually have a lot to say about the movies, so I think it'll be fine.
Fair enough.
All right.
Let's get to the break. Before this section of the podcast starts, I just want to preface by saying that Don't Look Up is only in theaters right now, and it goes on to Netflix on December 24th. So if you don't want spoilers, I'll leave a timestamp in the description that you can skip to.
Two low-level astronomers must go on a giant media tour to warn mankind of an approaching comet that will destroy planet Earth in Don't Look Up. Directed and written by Adam McKay, story by David Sirota, starring Leonardo DiCaprio, Jennifer Lawrence, and Meryl Streep.
Critics gave it a 7.5 out of 10 on IMDb, at 55% on Rotten Tomatoes, and on Letterboxd it has an average of a 3.5 stars. You gave it 2 stars. I think I gave it 2.5.
Yeah.
The half was just for being a little bit ridiculous.
Huh. Yeah.
Because I've seen... Okay, the 7.5 on IMDb is pretty high.
Very high.
I've seen a lot of like praise for this movie, and
I haven't seen a lot, so I'm curious to what you've seen.
I've seen the one that like bothered me the most was saying that like this is the best made movie of the year and possibly the century.
Oh, what the fuck are they talking about?
I don't know, but the funniest review I saw was on Letterboxd. It says if the Gal Gadot Imagine video was 3 hours long.
That's funny.
I found it to be kind of annoying. So I liked the first half. The first half was okay because I felt like the movie knew where it was going.
Mm-hmm.
And then after the first mission fails,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like the movie kind of lost its purpose. And like they
Yes.
were just grasping at different things to try to
Yes.
be good.
Don't understand the whole point of that bash guy. It felt like weirdly offensive. Whatever that was, whatever he was trying to do, I didn't like it. I don't understand the point of having him in there. I just didn't get that at all.
Yeah, I think because after that first mission fails, like there was no, to me, the movie was over.
Well, it didn't fail. They bailed.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
So I think it would have been more interesting. What I thought they were going to do was that it was going to fail, or that it was going to make it, like, I thought it would be funny if it made it somehow bigger, or if it like only, it still was going to be like a really, like, it was to a point where maybe it wasn't going to end the world, but it was going to like cause a lot of damage. And I don't know. I think that would have been more interesting for people to either try to deal with the ramifications of it completely failing, or of it being like a sort of failure where you still have to like figure out a way to save a bunch of people. I think that would have been more interesting, instead of being like, oh, Americans are, they would try to monetize the comet. Like, I don't know. At a certain point, there's like, we can suspend our disbelief a lot, especially in a comedy like this. But I was like, I mean, maybe I have too much faith in our country, but I truly don't think they would have done that. And so that's where I was like, this just feels like too much of a parody right now.
Yeah. Well, speaking on that bash guy, I saw it and it just reminded me of Ready Player One. So I made a list. I've always seen these lists, like these kind of lists on Letterboxd, and I've always wanted to make one. Just never had the idea until yesterday. So I just have this movie and Ready Player One. The name of the list is Mark Rylance plays a nerd who should have been bullied more.
That's funny.
Shout out to Kayla for helping me come up with that.
He really should have. Or Mark Rylance himself. I don't really like. I feel bad. Maybe I just hold a grudge because he won the Oscar over Tom Hardy, but I don't really like him.
Oh, in Dunkirk?
No,
I liked him in that.
Oh, wait,
it wasn't
Tom
Dunkirk?
Hardy? What are you talking about?
He was in. Mark Rylance was in Dunkirk.
It was not Dunkirk. It was some other movie that I can't even think of the name.
Oh, that's just the movie where I've seen them in both, like more recently.
Mark Rylance is not in Dunkirk.
Yeah, he is.
He is not. I don't.
He's
think
the
so.
guy on the boat.
Oh, well, he wasn't nominated for that, and neither was Tom Hardy. So I don't know what you're talking about. That's when Tom Hardy was nominated for The Revenant.
Oh.
And it was
Yeah,
like
I've never
some
seen that movie.
spy thing. I forgot what it was called. The movie that Mark Rylance was in, but he wasn't even that good in it. I don't know. I just don't really care for him as an actor.
Oh, Bridge of Spies.
Yeah. Boring
oh yeah,
movie.
never seen it.
But yeah, anyways, I don't know. That portrayal, I was like, are they trying to be, I don't know. I just didn't like it. And I just didn't like the inclusion of his character at all.
Yeah, it did feel a bit weird. Like I said, I just think this movie was trying to do too much because there was the whole like affair with Leonardo
what was the point of
DiCaprio's
that?
character. There was like Ariana Grande's and Kid Cudi's character.
Yeah.
There was just a lot. Ron Perlman. His part at the end kind of
That made me laugh a lot whenever he was shooting at the comet. That was really, really funny. That was like one of the few moments that made me laugh.
Yeah, that's what I put in my review, that it was like kind of funny.
That
but
one,
even then, not that much of a redeeming quality for.
yeah, that one. So that when a movie's bad, at least for me, is when I can remember distinctly the times I laughed. It was that one. The second one was the thing that did get me was the running joke of Kate trying to figure out why the general like charged them for the snacks.
Mm-hmm.
That actually did make me laugh a lot. And then the second one was when the third one is when Jonah Hill's character said that his Molly had just hit, and he's like, "Man, I timed that perfectly." That made me laugh like a little bit too much in the theater.
Yeah,
like
that part was
a
funny.
little bit.
And I wasn't expecting it to make me laugh whenever they first meet Jonah Hill's character, and they're saying goodbye, and he's like, "Thanks for dressing up." Like,
Yeah.
That part was funny.
Really funny.
He was funny in it. I liked him.
Sometimes he was a little too much. Like, sometimes they kept it on him a little bit too long when I was like, they should just cut it. The editing, fucking weird. I hated it. I hated every moment of the editing.
It was, especially towards the end, where there were some, like, 1 or 2 frame shots that would cut in between the, like, showing humanity clips.
Yeah.
There was, like, hippos, and then, like, for a frame or 2, they'd show Leonardo, like, holding his hand out to his wife or something, and then cutting back.
And then do you remember that moment? Maybe if you remember this, I can tell if it seemed like a mistake. Like, somehow the like in the theater I was in, like, somehow the film delayed. But do you remember when that guy, the doctor that was helping them from NASA, when he was talking about the pie and it just, like, paused on him? Did that happen in yours too? Like, his frame just stopped for, like, a second.
There were a couple of moments where I thought it was, like, a
mistake.
A projector mistake. It was accidental. It felt very accidental. Because I was looking at Kayla. I was like, this feels weird.
And and then using, like, stock footage of people, it was just felt like I was like, is this a YouTube video or am I watching a movie? Like, what was that?
Exactly. Like, there was a baby showering. There was, like, polar bears.
Yeah, some girl watching it on her phone that was on the floor. There was a dog barking at a TV. Like, well, I don't know. Some of the visual gags were not funny. Like, and even one at the very beginning that I just noticed right now that they didn't keep throughout. Remember when she was like, Jennifer Lawrence's character said something where she was like, "Is that real?" And it paused and it said, "It is real."
Oh, yeah.
This is their logo. And I was like, that's kind of funny. But then they didn't do it ever again. I was like, okay, like that just seems strange.
That's true. I completely forgot about that. Yeah, and then towards the end, because I feel like there's so many different moods that this movie takes, because there's the whole, like, just look up, don't look up thing.
Strange.
And that felt very a little too spot on. I mean, I kind of get the whole idea because, you know, essentially everything just gets, like, misconstrued in this country, and it gets boiled down to simple phrases that at some point you don't really, like, people generally don't associate the, like, whole purpose of what it started as, and just, like, change the entire meaning of it. So I kind of get that, but then it was just way too much, I think.
Yeah. Like you said, the end of the movie was just, like, so random, and the only part I liked was whenever at the very end, when Leonardo DiCaprio's character, like, waited way too fucking long to do this, when he was, like, yelling at them and he was saying, like, why, how have we come to this point where, like, we can say, like, something that is a known fact that people are, like, disputing, which I don't know. I get, and then I was like, okay, like, they're kind of trying to hit the nail on the head of, like, hammering it into us what this movie's about. I get it. Like, you don't have to, you're not being subtle. So I get what you're trying to say with this movie. I did like what he was saying, but, like, when he said that, I was like, okay, do that in your movie then. You know, like, all this arguing, this passion that he has, like, it felt like there was none. It felt like Leonardo DiCaprio as, like, an actor, because he's so, you know, he's really involved in stuff about global warming. It felt like him as an actor was like, why are we making this stupid fucking movie? Just give all this money to try to stop global warming. Like, it felt like there was some real frustration there where he was like, I'm trying, this is the only way I can get through to you idiots, is by making a shitty ass movie that nobody's gonna care about. And then they're making fun of themselves about, like, the whole, you know, Chris Evans being in it did make me laugh a lot too, because I was like, what the fuck's happening?
Super random.
And it felt like they were kind of making fun of themselves about, like, the world's ending, but they still made a movie about it, you know? So I don't know. It just felt very, like, it was very disappointing. Meryl Streep was also, honestly, maybe it's controversial, but she was very annoying in it. Like, not even, like, good or funny. It just felt like, you know, she was like, you know, I want to try comedy. And they were like, okay. And, like,
okay, Meryl, go for it.
Yeah, who's going to say no to Meryl Streep, you know? And then she's going to fucking, nomination for this fucking movie too.
Ugh.
Yeah.
I mean,
but yeah,
did you stick around for the little like after credits thing?
yeah, and I wish I didn't because it was not good.
Felt
Somebody
weird.
did say. Somebody said, God, this. I think it's Robert Daniels is what I want to say. A critic that I follow. He said that the after credit scene was not just really bad, but it felt like it just undid the entire message that the movie was trying to say.
Yeah,
Which,
I agree.
Yeah. That's why I stayed, because I didn't even know there was going to be one, because I would have left. Because, why stay for that movie? Yeah, I don't know. And I will say, like you said, it was just a really frustrating experience. I don't know why. I just, didn't like it. I don't know. But the one thing I did like was at the dinner scene at the end when they were trying to just, have normal conversation when the world was ending. I liked that a lot. Timothy Chalamet was actually really funny in it.
Yeah.
I wish he was more in it.
Yeah, he was good.
Another moment that made me laugh, I guess, was when he said, when he asked Leonardo DiCaprio if he can be vulnerable in his car. That made me laugh.
Yeah, and he just introduced himself as a Twitch streamer.
Yeah, and he said, "Do you game? Why would you assume that?" And she's like, "Why would you assume not?" That was funny.
That's
so
funny.
a few funny moments, but not enough to make a good movie.
Yeah, like you said, I did like that ending scene sequence where they're just trying to have a normal dinner, even though they're gonna die.
And then the big explosion.
But then the weird editing.
I like the explosion.
Editing.
Oh yeah, the filter that was over it.
Yeah. They're just extremely poorly timed jump cuts between that and other sequences.
Yeah.
Oh, and I liked that Jonah Hill got left behind. That was funny.
I thought that was really funny too. She's like, "Fuck."
That's all I got.
It was kind of sad though. All right, I have 2 fun facts. Number 1 is Chris Evans was previously set to play Mark Rylance's role. I don't know. I kind of wanted to see it. Maybe my hatred for Mark Rylance goes too deep. All right. This one's kind of a trivia for you. I don't know if you've looked at these.
No.
So the cast includes 5 Oscar winners and 2 Oscar nominees. Do you want to name the 5 Oscar winners?
Meryl Streep.
Mm-hmm.
Kate Blanchett.
Yes.
Has Leo won one?
Yes.
Jonah Hill?
Nope.
Not Jonah Hill? Oh, Jennifer Lawrence for sure.
Yes. So you have one more.
So Mark Rylance.
Yep. Who are the nominees? 2 nominees.
2 nominees. Timothy Chalamet.
Mm-hmm.
Tyler Perry.
Nope. You already said him.
Oh, Jonah Hill?
Jonah Hill's been nominated. He has never won.
I don't know why I thought he won for Wolf of Wall Street or something.
Oh.
Or Moneyball.
Was he nominated for Wolf of Wall Street?
I mean, obviously not. You said he...
What? No, I said was he nominated?
Oh.
I know he was nominated for Moneyball. I don't know about Wolf of Wall Street, though.
I'll look it up.
I wonder if he... I feel like he's one of those people that I want
Academy
to
Award
think is a good person, but he's actually
supporting
probably an
director. Asshole. I think. Oh no,
huh?
I don't know. This is weird.
What are you looking at?
To see if Jonah Hill got nominated for.
My internet went kind of wonky for a second. Did you hear what I said?
No, sorry.
I want to. He's an actor that I want to believe is a good person, but I have a feeling that he's an asshole.
Oh, Jonah Hill?
Yeah.
Oh, he did get nominated for Wolf of Wall Street.
Really?
In 2013.
Man, there's gonna be so many nominations for this movie. It's gonna be fucking annoying.
But yeah, on Jonah Hill, I watched a GQ interview where it's his essentials items.
Mm-hmm.
It's very different from, I mean, obviously he's an actor, so it's his characters aren't going to be the same, but it's just not who I expected to see.
He also
not in a bad way, I don't think, but
I feel like he is more serious about himself and not in a, like you said, not in a bad way, but I feel like he's more serious about himself and his work than people would think.
Yeah.
Like he's not somebody that if you go on the street and like make fun of him, which I know a lot of people do, which is fucking weird, that he would like laugh. I think he'd be like, why would you say that? Yeah. Which I see. Oh God, it's so fucking cringy. Sorry, I need to rant about this for a second because you know who Brittany Broski is, the kombucha girl?
Yeah.
So I follow her on TikTok because she's genuinely really funny. I like her a lot. And because she always makes fun of herself, right? And she makes fun of the fact she has big forehead. And somebody like commented like, said something about like, girl, I'm worried about that hairline. And she responded to it like on TikTok, and you can respond to a comment with a video. And she was like, genuinely, she's like, why would you say that? Like, why would you think this is funny? Like, would you want me to laugh at this? Like, you're making fun of the way I look. Right. And some of the comments was like, I never looked into parasocial relationships before, but I've heard of that like term a lot, especially with the John Mulaney stuff. Mm-hmm. It's very interesting though. Just like
it is.
People just think that they can do whatever they want because somebody is recognizable to them.
Yeah, it's a weird expectation that people create because you see them multiple times, like you know so much about this person, but they know absolutely nothing about you.
Exactly. So. And sometimes I think about that with this podcast where I'm like, if we're too harsh with somebody or, like I'm like, they're a person. So maybe I shouldn't say that. But I don't know. Because you think, too, that it's separated. Like, I can't imagine that person actually thought. I mean, maybe if they did think that she would see it, that they thought, she would laugh at it. But on the other side, I feel like people just throw shit into the, internet and don't think anybody's going to see it.
Yeah, just to get a reaction.
Because, I mean, I could say, like, the whole Christopher Nolan shit. Like, I always make fun of him. But, like, I think part of it is because, one, I think he, and especially the stuff I made fun of him at the beginning of the pandemic, he needed to be bullied a little bit. But second, part of me is like, I don't think he would ever even listen to this. So what does it matter? But is that even a good thing to think, Like, should I say it should I only say things about people that even if they, what am I trying to say? Like, should I act like people are always going to see what I say about them?
All right. Christopher Nolan's listening to this episode. 100% guarantee, right? What do you tell him right here? Yeah, should I say that? No, what do you tell him right now? What I say right now? Well, yeah, I would say, why were you acting like a fucking clown at the beginning of the pandemic? People were dying, you idiot. Love your movies, but come on, bro.
Yeah, like, as like far as anybody goes, I feel like I'm one of the people that desperately wanted movies to come back, and I wanted to do a theater so bad, but like people were fucking dying. So it didn't matter if I wanted a popcorn and icy, like.
Yeah.
Or even Ridley Scott, like, learn your generations, dummy. Like,
it's funny because
I think it goes back to them too. Sorry.
No, just back on the Jonah Hill thing. Did you see the interview
Jimmy Fallon?
On Jimmy Fallon?
I don't know why people want to do that more. I would do that all the time.
Yeah, I mean, I think to me it was like Jonah Hill's very genuine. I guess cool that he's just whatever. Use his platform.
Maybe that's what it is though. Maybe like I have an idea that he would be kind of an asshole because I know how I am. And I feel like I recognize a lot of how I interact with people where I'm just very like I can be very serious. I can be very silly, but I can also talk like in a very serious way. And people always assume that I'm kind of an asshole. And so I think I'm projecting that. So I haven't gone to therapy in a while, so I think I'm just like
shout out to you, Jonah.
Therapizing myself. Yeah.
You were probably the best part of this movie.
Oh yeah, I watch anything that he's in. I think he's funny.
Is that all you have to say about this movie? I want to forget about it. Like, it didn't need to be that long. There was way too many clips.
Oh, we should have said, too, that there was going to be spoilers. Because this movie's not out for a lot of people. Maybe, I mean...
I'll probably edit, like, interject with just a little preface saying...
Do you want me to say something now? Or do you want to do it yourself?
I'll do it after.
Okay. But yeah, it does come out. If you want to watch it in theaters, it's in theaters now. But if you want to watch it in the comfort of your own home, which I would say it's a good Netflix watch, it's not something I would go to the theaters for. It comes out, I think, on December 24th on Netflix. So An adaptation of the 1957 musical, West Side Story explores forbidden love and the rivalry between the Jets and the Sharks, two teenage street gangs of different ethnic backgrounds. Directed by the Steven Spielberg. Written by Tony Kushner, based on the stage play by Arthur Lawrence, starring Rachel Zegler, Ariana DeBose, and David Alvarez.
Critics gave it an 8.2 out of 10 on IMDb, a 93% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Whoa.
And on Letterboxd, it has an average of a 4.1 stars.
Whoa. Really?
Yeah. People really love this movie. People really love this movie. Okay, so let's preface this.
I gave it 3 stars, and honestly, I feel like I should have given it like a 2.5, but sorry.
Well, yeah, let's preface this. We don't really get the hype, but I think that's fine.
I don't get it. Well, I think it also has to do with the fact that I've never seen this musical, and I had no idea what was going to happen in it.
Okay. I've seen the original. I saw it probably sophomore year in high school, so like a long time ago, like 6 years.
Yeah,
and
truly,
I remember thinking, damn, this is long as hell. It's a really long movie, especially because I was like younger, and I don't know. Musicals have not always been my go-to, and just not a big fan of it.
Mm-hmm.
But I think overall the story is interesting.
Somebody said it was a Romeo and Juliet.
Yeah.
And I was like, sure. Oh, okay, I get that, I guess. Still don't like it, but okay.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was the character Riff was perfectly cast. I really liked him in it. I think he was one of my favorites. I like the music as well, like the America song.
Oh, I fucking love that song. Okay, that
Rita
song
Moreno
I knew
did great in the original.
I don't know if I've seen her do it, but this is embarrassing to know to reveal to people, and I hope that I get. I hope somebody else can relate to this. But the only thing I know about this movie is what I've seen on Glee, because they did like in the show. They did like a musical, they're like the musical that, when they do like at school, they do one musical a year. Yeah. It was West Side Story. So I know, like I've seen Naya Rivera do it, and she was very good. And I love that song. So
I could imagine
embarrassing
her doing
to admit, but yeah.
Well, so if this is your first time being introduced to the story, how did you feel about it?
I was very confused. I took notes. I was compelled to take notes through the movie.
Okay, yeah, go for it.
I think these are just like little one-liner things. Like, so I thought, so this is what I took during the beginning scene when the Jets were like, dancing through town, where I was like, musicals are just really funny to me, because they just dance their way to commit a hate crime, right? And then they are making fun of her brother, I forgot his name.
Oh, for singing?
Yeah, for singing. And I was like, you literally just like twirled your way to defacing the Puerto Rican flag. So like, I don't know, I get it. Like, I get that's not, everybody's over it. It's kind of a childish thing to say. But I think it's just very funny every time I see this in musicals, where they're like, or like in High School Musical, the famous, I don't know if you've seen it, but the famous scene in the second one where they're playing baseball, and they're trying to get one of the guys to like be in the musical, and his whole thing is I Don't Dance, and that's the name of the musical number is I Don't Dance, and they're dancing the entire time.
That's hilarious.
It's just it makes me laugh every time. But that felt like this, where they were like, "You sing, you fucking pussy." We're gonna go pirouette over to breaking in and
they did like full ballet twirls.
Exactly. Very funny every time. I also said Maria and Tony would 100% get a divorce in like 5 years.
Yeah, that's one thing. Okay, yeah. So one thing that I did note is kind of, I don't know if we want to get into spoilers yet.
It's fine.
Okay. So
I mean, it's a very old musical. So
okay. So after Bernardo dies and the cop comes to interview Anita and Maria, he says like, "I thought you like Tony. You were dancing with some white boy like last night," and I was like, "Wait." So the course of this
Yeah.
entire story is like 3 days or 2 days.
And he's
even.
like, I want to be with you forever.
I just was like, what?
Fucking wild. So,
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, me neither. I was like, maybe like a month or something. I mean, at least a week. But no, they knew instantly. Well, that's a Romeo and Juliet thing. Didn't they know instantly? It's like that love at first sight bullshit.
Yeah, but I guess maybe that's... It just didn't feel like that. Like at the dance, it didn't feel like a momentous thing that they saw each other. And
Maybe that's because Ansel Elgort's just a really bad actor, and he shouldn't have been in this movie.
yeah, they chose like the most uncharismatic person, or
Exactly.
not charismatic.
Non-charismatic, but also just like didn't have any chemistry with Rachel. Like she was perfect. She was amazing. She was really good in it. She was compelling. I could understand if somebody could fall in love with her in a night. Ansel Elgort, however, fuck him. And not even just because I think he's a shitty person, but he's also just not a good actor. Like, it'd be different. I would be really upset if I was like, man, he's a piece of shit, but like, he killed it. But no, he didn't. He was bad throughout. And the fact that they're trying to defend it by like still hammering home these like TV spots that, oh, he was amazing. He was like the perfect part. He was the perfect cast for Tony. And I was like, if you like, honestly, the whole like hiatus he took because he's a criminal, allegedly, is I forgot about him in that time span. If you would have not had him, if you would have recast him, I would have been like, I don't even know who's supposed to play Tony.
Yeah, that's why I put up Baby Driver, because I feel like it's his best role because he doesn't talk that much.
Yeah.
He has very minor speaking role. But yeah, not good.
Another thing, every musical has a song that you can skip through or that you want to skip through. I don't know if you've noticed this, Anthony, but every time you watch a musical, you're like, I hate the song. And for this one, it's the police station one.
Oh,
could have done
yeah.
without it. I should have went to the restroom during that time.
That felt weird. Oh, I gotta say, I had the entire theater to myself, so it felt very weird.
Did you really?
Entire theater to myself.
That's so funny. Once in a lifetime. That happened to me when I saw Instant Family.
I walked in and like I pressed the button to order, and the lady walked in and was like, "You're all by yourself, huh?" And I was like, "Yeah." And she like sat down next to me.
One for West Side Story.
Like, you sure? By yourself? Yeah. So I had the entire theater to myself. And
she was like, I don't know. There's a couple of Ansel Elgort jump scares in here, so you might be a little creeped out. Another note I had is, I know this is an old musical, but in what world do you know you want to be with somebody forever after one fucking night?
And it's like how old are they? Because it seems like I know
she's 18.
She says she's 18.
And he's 45.
Be...
Okay.
Why are they at a high school dance still?
Oh, yeah. True.
That felt weird.
The outfits in this movie. Crazy good. I love the outfits.
Everything
Beautiful
Bernardo
gowns.
wore.
Yeah.
I need to add that to my wardrobe.
Loved it. Do you remember? I don't know. I forgot what part of the movie I took this. I think it was probably when they were at the Rumble. But Tony's fighting stance looked so funny. It looked like he was taking a shit. Do you remember that part? It was a wide shot, but he was like, he like squatted down like he was just gonna shit. Yeah. That was so strange. I could beat up Ansel Elgort is my point.
I'm trying to remember the Rumble scene in the old one, but I think this one was like, I think I like this one more because it felt more dramatic. Like when they actually got stabbed.
That was so strange. And okay, so then I like that I Feel Pretty thing, that moment. I didn't know that was from this musical. Yeah. I know that song, but I had no idea it was in this musical. Yeah, that was fine. I did think it was kind of funny. And I have a fun fact about this, but I thought it was funny that so after he died, I was like, why is nobody making a big deal out of this? Like, that people died. Because we just cut instantly to her dancing around in a fucking like JCPenney's. So I was like, what's happening? And I guess that was intentional to be like, oh, look at this idiot. She thinks she's going to have a happy life, but her lover killed her brother. Okay, and then now we make our way to the biggest issue I have with this fucking movie. Is she finds out that he killed her Tony, her precious Tony. Straight up killed her brother. And like he didn't have to, right? Like I know they make it seem like Bernardo like had I think he stabbed Riff, right? Okay, bad thing to do. He shouldn't have done that. But why do you instantly stab him back? You know, like shouldn't you take care? I don't know. That just avoidable it felt like. But maybe I don't know.
Yeah, I think
I've never been in a musical fight before, so I don't know.
It speaks to how terribly cast Tony was, because I think in the older one, I don't know, just to me it feels to make that act more believable, like, oh yeah, of course he's gonna stab the guy, because Tony's whole part or his whole thing is that he's new person because he went to jail for almost killing a guy for like beating the shit out of him, went to jail for a year, came back, he's like, I'm starting fresh, even though he has like this dark gritty side to him. And then he sees his friend die, and then the dark gritty side comes out again. But I think it just with Ansel playing that character, like I can't imagine him being like that, to have that killer instinct.
Yeah.
Just
that is true, because every time he would talk about it, I was like, he's lying.
Yeah.
He didn't almost kill somebody. So,
yeah, I think
not believable.
that speaks to it a little bit.
That makes sense. Also, it felt like it happened so fast. Like I didn't even get to register that happening of like he's trying to repress this person that came back in a split second. I didn't even see that happen. But anyways, my issue's not really with him. It is with fucking Maria, because she finds out that this guy, because I was like, maybe like I know he's gonna go to her and maybe he won't tell her, or maybe it'll be some miscommunication that like she doesn't know that he killed her brother. She fully knows that he killed her brother, and she still fucks him. That was truly, I put in all caps, she still wants him. What the fuck? As soon as I heard that, I would have killed him my damn self. How are you like, you know what? But you're cute. Like, what?
And someone that she's known for a day.
Exactly. Killed your fucking brother. Who was annoying. Yeah, he was like, trying to treat you like a kid. But maybe he should have, because you're doing this shit. He was right. I don't know. That was fucking wild to me. Like I looked at Sebastian. Oh, I wrote down, I feel like I'm going insane. Like that entire scene where she's like, she called him a murderer, and then she kissed him, and then they wake up in bed, and then Anita had just gone from identifying the brother. She just got home. She wanted to break the news to Maria. And not only does she already know, but she's in bed with the guy who fucking murdered him. Anita should have fucking stabbed her. I was like, what is going on? And like I know it's supposed, I don't know, maybe it's supposed to be dramatic, maybe it's supposed to be like, oh, she's fighting between, the love for this guy and the love for her brother, but the love for this guy, the chemistry is so like not believable that it just feels really stupid. It feels so silly.
Yeah. I think all that aside, Spielberg did a great job of making this movie feel massive. I mean,
yeah.
There was one shot that I really liked. I think it's Anita's song, the like Coming to America or Living in America. Mm-hmm. Or she's like doing the laundry. And it's like cuts between the different people singing, and like he uses the clothes to show that. That was cool. I watched that and I was like, yeah, in the theater by myself, just clapping. Just like, yes,
like,
beautiful.
You're like singing along. Yeah, I mean, he did a good job with what he had, but like but I don't know. Part of me is like, I want to praise him for being a director, but part of it is casting the right people, and he obviously didn't know how to do that. So like, I don't know. That truly, it's just so annoying that, like I said, not only is Ansel Elgort a piece of shit, but he's truly the reason I didn't like this movie.
Yeah.
Because he's not good in it. He's so bad. And then that moment, I feel so bad. Well, they're not real, so it doesn't matter. But the moment, like, where Anita like lies and
Mm.
says that Maria was dead, and like when he was told that, the cry that he had was so fucking funny. Like it was just not, he's not good. It was not as dramatic as it should have been.
Yeah.
I don't know, I'm so disappointed.
Well, maybe it wasn't dramatic because he only knew her for a day. So he's like, it's okay.
He's like, well, I guess
Yeah, I
I'll
think
just go to
that's
the dance again. I don't know.
that's probably my biggest flaw with this movie is just like the overall plot. Just
Yeah.
doesn't vibe with me.
And
Doesn't sit
people,
well.
and I don't know. And I think, like I said, people say it's like supposed to be a modernized Romeo and Juliet. And I get that. And I don't know.
I will say
Yeah.
the poster for this movie, at least on Letterboxd, looks exactly like the American Sniper.
Yeah, and I really hate it. You should Photoshop Bradley Cooper like behind them. Like they only had time to take like they had to take the same, poster image but in the same day. So they were like, okay, so Bradley Cooper, you'll be over here, and then we'll put we'll put them in front of you like about 6 feet, and we'll just like wave the flag a couple of times because we were in a crunch for time.
Oh my
so
god, that's
we've got to
perfect.
just get this done.
There's enough room for him to fit too. To just like
I'm
he's
sure
like
somebody's
looking at
done
them.
it, but
I'll do it.
I think that's.
I've seen people like do it side by side. It's like the same, like the flag curves the same and everything.
It's so weird, and also like, why would you? There's so many cool there's so many cool visuals in the movie. Why would you choose this?
Yeah, you could have like the Sharks and the Jets like facing each other, like at the dance. Cause like I liked the choreography in that whole sequence. I know that's like the big thing, is at the dance. I like
something. I mean, I don't know anything other than that. That American Sniper. Clint Eastwood is quaking in his lazy boy right now. It's like, what the fuck?
Hilarious.
All right, you want some fun facts? I actually have a lot.
Yeah, go for it.
So, while she has played Maria in plenty of stage productions of West Side Story, this is Rachel Zegler's first film role. Steven Spielberg credits her as the greatest Maria he's ever witnessed. Is that true?
Good.
Seeing the original one, do you think that's true?
I think so. I think she was really good. It's funny because I saw this tweet saying, like, this is the highest that Rachel Zegler and the girl in Licorice Pizza.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is the highest that they're gonna see in there. Like, they're gonna go to other movies and just like be sad because to start with West Side Story, directed by Steven Spielberg, and to just like to go any other production, like, yeah.
Screenwriter Tony Kushner has stated the film will be this was before. So the film is more in line with the original book by Arthur Lawrence than the 1961 film adaptation. Oh yeah, was it like, I don't know if you remember, is it a lot different?
I mean, like I said, it's been a while since I watched it. If it must be minor because I don't really remember. Like, I don't really remember Rita Moreno's character. Like, if there was.
She apparently plays. Let me see. I think I have a.
No, I mean like in this movie.
Yeah, so she.
I know she played Anita in the other one.
And so in the original one, it's Doc is like the character that she plays.
Okay.
But they changed it so she could be in it, and she's Doc's like widow, I guess.
Widower. She's the widow, yeah.
But in the original, it's just Doc.
Okay.
Which I guess it's interesting. All right. So Naya Rivera, RIP, expressed interest and sent an audition tape for the role of Anita because she had previously, holy shit, played the role and sung the song America in Glee. During Glee, what a weird way to word that. But yeah, she played her in Glee. And it's very good. If you like that song, I would look it up because she does an amazing job. It's been announced that there will be no English subtitles. Oh, this is like one of my favorite things in the movie. There will be no English subtitles when the characters are talking in Spanish. Regarding this decision, Spielberg explained that this was done, quote, out of respect for the inclusivity of our intentions to hire a totally Latinx cast to play the sharks, boys, and girls. If I subtitled the Spanish, I'd simply be doubling down on the English and giving the English power over the Spanish. This was not going to happen in this film. I needed to respect the language enough not to subtitle it. So as somebody who saw it, I know you're not super fluent and you saw it by yourself. How did you do without knowing? There were some jokes.
I surprised myself a little bit.
That's good. I actually understood a good amount too. And I love that they did that, because one of the things that Sebastian always says is his pet peeve and is becoming mine is when they'll be like, in a movie, if they say something in Spanish, they'll say it directly again in English. And he's like, that nobody ever does that. So like if they're like, hola, hello, they'll do that all the time.
Oh.
Or like, ¿Cómo te llamas? What's your name? Like they'll do that all the time in movies. And now I notice it and it's very annoying. And they didn't do that at all. And I think a good device too was her being like, speak in English. We need to practice. But yeah, there was some, I did like, and Sebastian said that this was a fun part for him, was because they didn't subtitle. And I think in our movie, we did have other people. And there were certain moments where they would say something in Spanish and it was obviously a joke. But only like half of the room would laugh because only half of the room understood what happened. And he said cool. He really liked that because that's usually like, I think that happens a lot, but it's usually the opposite where people like Spanish speakers don't understand what's happening. And there was one, like, I don't know if you understood this one. I didn't understand this one. But whenever they're trying to set up the rumble in the restroom and they're like, let's bring knives. I think the Puerto Ricans are like, or the sharks are like, can we bring knives or something? And they're like, no. And the people, like the sharks behind Bernardo, are like, why would we bring knives? And he said because they'll like faint at the sight of blood, something like that, where he was like, well, they see blood and then they'll just like run away or they'll faint or whatever. And that's the moment where like a lot of people laughed, and me and like the other people that don't understand were like, huh?
Yeah, I didn't catch that. That's
so
funny though. That
was funny to like. At least having Sebastian was nice because when they would say something and I was like, what'd they say? But yeah, so I like that a lot. I think it was a good choice too. John Williams was brought in to serve as music consultant for the film. I guess he does a lot of his movies, right? Steven Spielberg. But he didn't compose, he just consulted. So this film's December 10th, 2021 release date comes one day before Rita Moreno's 90th birthday. I didn't know she's 90.
Yeah, she turned 90 yesterday. Shout out to her.
Shout out. And 8 days before... Huh?
She's still going strong.
It truly is. And 8 days before Steven Spielberg's 75th birthday.
Oh.
I was about to make a joke. It's kind of mean. I was say they look the same age, but no, they don't. In an episode of How To with John Wilson, there are scenes where the streets of New York are dressed to be the set of West Side Story during filming. Do you remember that? I think it was the season premiere when he was like he lived in a place that looks so old that, yeah, I think that's West Side Story. Rita Moreno claimed that her most difficult scene was when Valentina, her character, who was Doc in the original 1961 film, saves Anita from being assaulted in the candy store. Pharmacy, it's not a candy store. Due to having originally played the same scene as Anita and responded with the same dialogue that Doc said to her when she was in the movie. It was only with greatest difficulty that Moreno was able to stay in character as Valentina and not flub the take out of disassociation.
Wow.
That is wild. I was thinking of that too because I knew that she played Anita. I was like, that must be fucking weird to see that.
Yeah, to be on the other side.
Also, that must be for the actress that played Anita. That must be really nerve-wracking. I don't know if I could do it.
Yeah, it's like a legend, and you have to like live up to that.
Scary. All right, the last one. The song "I Feel Pretty" is here presented faithfully to the musical after the Rumble has taken place and Rit and Bernardo have been killed. The song takes on dramatic irony in the context of Maria being unaware of what has happened. West Side Story, the 1961 movie, moved the song to before the Rumble in order to remove the irony and play the song lighthearted. Lyricist Stephen Sondheim, another rip, has since advocated removing the song from productions entirely, believing it slows down the pacing and that the intended irony is lost. Honestly, I tend to agree with him. I don't know. I think the irony is there, but it kind of is lost a little bit, and it just feels like gross.
I could see that.
I didn't mind it, but I do agree with him. Like if somebody were to nobody's going to consult me, but if somebody were to consult me, I would have been like, yeah, just take it out.
Take it out.
Why would you have it there? But yeah. And that's West Side Story. Sorry, I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's just not a movie for us.
I definitely think it's not really for us.
No.
But I think it's a good achievement to the fact that he was able to take such a legendary story and make it accessible for a wider audience and like a more modern audience. Props to him for that.
And props to doing the bare minimum of just like hiring all Latinos in the movie. That was nice.
He also
I was really scared.
Subtitle.
Huh?
He didn't like add English subtitles. That's cool.
Yeah, that's cool. That's very, very cool. But I don't know. Every time I still have that like like PTSD of like whenever I see a movie that has a lot of Latinos in it, I'm like, I don't want to Google and then see that somebody's like a quarter Mexican. They're not even Puerto Rican. You know, like that's what I was kind of like nervous about. I don't know if they're all Puerto Rican, but they're all Latinos. So step in the right direction, I guess. But yeah. It was fine. I don't know. These movies are kind of like, I was hoping one of them would be good, but honestly, they're both way too long. Yeah.
Solid.
That's it. It's in theaters now if you want to see it. It's not doing well apparently, so.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, I had a whole theater to myself. It was like 2:00 on a Friday. People probably had finals.
Probably.
It doesn't help that Spider-Man's coming out this week.
Man, we went to the theater we went to was the one that we're going to see Spider-Man in. And this one is relatively empty like a lot of the time. But they started hiring new people, and I think it's because of that. Like every time I go, there's a new person that's training that takes my order.
Prepping.
I'm sure it does. And I looked at our theater to see. I'm like, I'm assuming it's full, but who knows? But yeah, it's completely full, except for some of the very front ones. But I'm sure those are gonna be full too.
Oh yeah.
And I'm really excited. I think it's the first time I've seen. Now that I'm like, all boosted up too. I don't know if we have to wait 2 weeks, but at least have that false sense of security. But this is the first time I've been to a theater that's been completely packed, so I'm actually really excited. It'll feel like the movies again. Yeah. House of Gucci was like closest we got to, and that one was pretty full.
Yeah, it was pretty packed.
Yeah.
Excited.
Very excited. So
we'll probably put something out special on the weekend.
Yeah.
And then on Monday again. Good timing.
Yeah, I think so.
Because a majority of people will have seen it by then.
I mean, we could have released it on a late Thursday, because we're gonna both see. Oh no, you're seeing it like really late, right?
I'm seeing it at 10. Yeah.
Couldn't be me seeing it at 3:00. Well, that kills you, doesn't it? I'm gonna know everything like 5 hours before you even get to fucking step in the theater.
I'm gonna throw away my phone, I think, until then.
All right. Well, I'm gonna drive up to. I have enough time to drive up to College Station.
Just yell.
Yeah.
I mean,
never.
I wouldn't be that mad because that means that's a lot of commitment on your half, on your part.
Yeah.
To drive all the way up here, and to just spoil it. All right.
Or I'll spoil something that's like not even related to it, or like
they made
related
Willem
to it, but
Dafoe
like
3
something
inches
that's like
shorter.
Yeah, something like that. Oh, we
Super
didn't even talk
random.
about the new footage.
Yeah, I
That's
don't know
fine.
if you want to.
I mean, just put it in the end, I guess. Like right now. Well, I think the only thing that like at least I noticed that was pretty earth-shattering. Not earth-shattering, but that because people were speculating if Willem Dafoe was the second instance of Green Goblin that didn't have the mask on, but now it's confirmed, right? That was him. Do you remember in the first
Yeah.
trailer they showed
Oh.
him and people were like, "Well, that could be the Hobgoblin because you couldn't really see, or it could
Oh, I
be
mean,
James Franco."
you can kind of see his face though. Like, I don't know. I knew it was Willem Dafoe.
I mean, I assumed it was, but now it's like confirmed because I saw a lot of theories that it was James Franco.
Okay, but he was still on the like regular glider. But
Mm.
also, there was a still of him where it's like his, where he looks like, where it's like kind of a meme, like his smile.
Oh, I think I know it because that's the same one where people said that Jamie Foxx looks like he's wearing Tony Stark's thing. Yeah, okay, I know what you're talking about. I didn't see that though. All right. Do you want to predict anything? Do you think anybody's gonna die? I want. This sounds weird. I want at least one person to die, like a main person. Like I think Happy, probably.
I could see Happy dying for sure.
And one of the villains, probably Dr. Octavius, because he's been featured a lot.
Is there any possibility that Aunt May is gonna die?
No,
Okay.
I don't think so, but maybe.
Ooh,
I don't
maybe
see them
Ned?
killing her, but if they did, that would be wild. Ned or MJ? I don't think
Ned
they'll
or
kill
MJ. 50-50 to me, honestly. That's the thing. I feel like it's all. It could be 50-50 at this point. It's either way for me.
Okay.
Really wild is if Tom Holland died and Tobey
would be
Maguire
very
came
wild.
back.
He wouldn't. He would never. Maybe Andrew Garfield.
Really? Why not Toby?
I just don't imagine like he would want to. Why?
That's fair. Yeah, I think Doc Ock would probably. I could see that happening because he has been featured a lot. But at the same time, like, why feature him so much if he is going to die?
Get him screen time.
I don't think he's like a villain in this one because it.
That's what I'm saying. I think that's they're gonna make us love him again, and then they're gonna kill him.
Oh. It wouldn't be the first time that they take him away from us.
And I think they'll do this whole like, because they made a big deal where Doctor Strange says that their fate is to die fighting Spider-Man, and what if they're like, well, their fate is always to die, even if it's fighting with Spider-Man. Because I think maybe that's what Tom Holland Spider-Man thinks is like, well, if they don't fight me, if I try to get them to help me, then they won't die. But I think they still will because it's always their fate to do that.
But even in Spider-Man 2, Doc Ock dies like kind of fighting with Spider-Man.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Because, well, I think because there's, I don't know, I just always pay attention to, my rule of thumb is especially stuff in the trailer, but also if it's repeated or if it's like, dialogue that's said in a lot in different places. And the thing that keeps popping up
this crap.
is he says that they're not, yeah, exactly. Jesus, I hope they cut that out of the movie. They're not going to. But when he says that their fate is to always die fighting Spider-Man.
Okay.
So I think they are going to die, but I don't know. Well, not all of them. A lot of them.
There was a new line that Doc Ock said in the latest TV spot where he says, like, what did you do to my machine? And it, like, the way it's cut, it makes it seem like that little box thing is his machine or something.
Well, Sebastian mentioned, I don't know if he saw this somewhere, I think he saw this somewhere. But, so when he says, in reference to Scooby-Doo this crap, he thinks that some people think it's actually, like, something from Scooby-Doo. Like, not just, like, solve a mystery. He's saying, I think there's a part in one of the shows where they get all the villains and they kind of, like in Ghostbusters where they put them in that trap. They kind of do that, where they put them in something. And so they're trying to say, like, we need to collect them like Pokemon, basically. and put them in this box.
Yeah.
And so it is
I can see
a
that.
Scooby-Doo thing. So that would be cool. I would like that. I think that would be really fun as a movie concept to like try to, you know, go to all of them individually and get them. But yeah.
I don't know. I like how even though we've seen a lot, I still have no clue
They could go any
what's
way with
gonna
it.
happen.
It makes me nervous though, because I told Sebastian I have like this fear, and I think that it's Game of Thrones' fault, where there's all these theories, and I mean I think that imagination and like fan theories and people that are really passionate about it, they're always going to be better than what actually happens, but I just don't want to see it, you know? Like I have this fear that like, you know, it'll be like maybe I'll just trust them to do something cool, but then it'll be like Game of Thrones where we're like there's so much cool shit that was set up. Like in this movie, there's so much cool shit that they're setting up with the whole like multiverse with these villains, everything that's really cool what they're doing. And I honestly am really scared they're going to fumble it as hard as Game of Thrones did, and they might. So.
They very well could do that.
But we won't know until this week, and we'll talk about it.
I think that's a good note to end on.
All right.
See you guys soon.
Bye.
Bye.